Community concerns tonight the strike force investigating the Cronulla riots is being wound down too early. Police insist Enoggera has run its course and there's nothing left to do.
6 months after Sydney's worst street violence, the task force set up to investigate the race riots and revenge attacks is being wound up. After nearly 100 arrests, 14 convictions and 4 jail terms, police admit they've hit a wall, saying there's little more they can do.
Specific task forces are set up from time to time to deal with particular matters. When their work is complete, those task forces are wound up.
But most of the revenge attackers are still on the streets, and the opposition wants a $20,000 bounty on their heads.
This government was never going to lock up those Middle Eastern thugs, and I'd say to Premier Yema, put the money there today. If he doesn't do it, I will, straight after the election.
People who have information would have been as cooperative as can be, but this is a matter of evidence, it's not a matter of money.
Task Force Enoggera will wrap up in the next 3 to 4 weeks after all leads are exhausted. Most unsolved cases will be passed on to the Middle Eastern Organised Crime Squad.
What has been out in the public domain for quite a lengthy period of time now is all we have. But, as I said, there's more investigation to do and the results will come.
State Crime Command says the main problem they're facing now is a lack of new evidence. Most of the hit-and-run revenge attacks took place at night, and police say there isn't the same amount of video footage available as there was with the riots. Releasing these pictures led to 2 arrests in the past 24 hours. A 17-year-old boy handed himself into police after his photo appeared in a Sunday paper. A 22-year-old woman has also been charged. Police are still searching for 4 other suspects. Richard Davies, 10 News.
The state government is trying to clear the air with voters angry about pollution in the M5 East tunnel. The latest promises a trial of air filtration, more fans and big fines. It's congested, polluted and still causing headaches for the government. The toxic cloud inside the M5 East tunnel has been blamed for making drivers and nearby residents sick. Now the government's promising action to improve air quality and their election chances.
It's clear that the unique ventilation system in the M5 East is having difficulties, and that's why we've announced our air quality package today to help improve air quality in the M5 East.
It includes 12 new ventilation fans, taking the total to 131. A crackdown on heavy vehicles causing excess pollution, with fines of up to $44,000. They'll be tracked using video cameras inside the tunnel, and a trial of an air filtration system. This new filtration trial is expected to be 4 times larger than the other trial they proposed in 2004. But this one won't even get off the ground for another 12 to 15 months. And until then, the advice from the Minister, wind up your windows if you want to escape the smoke.
These statements have been made before. They've talked about a trial of filtration. They've talked about catching smoky trucks in the M5 East. Is it going to happen?
The NRMA has cautiously welcomed the changes.
We would have liked to see more action at an earlier time, but it's good news that the government has listened to motorist concerns.
The government insists there are no health risks for people using the tunnel, but admits something needs to be done to clear the air. Richard Davies, 10 News. Israel has killed more civilians in fresh bombing raids on Lebanon. As fighting continues on both sides, the UN is pushing for a new resolution to end the conflict. An Israeli fighter jet back from another bombing raid near Beirut. These F-16s have been pounding Hezbollah strongholds for weeks. But as the civilian death toll rises each day, pressure is mounting on Israel to end the violence.
It is the policy of the Israeli army not to harm innocent civilians.
The Israeli army says this video shows Hezbollah is putting civilians at risk by firing rockets from residential buildings. In southern Lebanon, as a village mourns its dead, another airstrike on the town kills another 15 people. On the other side of the border, hundreds of Israelis flee their homes as Hezbollah steps up its attacks. Efforts to end the cycle of violence now rest with the UN, which is working on yet another draft ceasefire resolution. But the sticking point is still Israel's refusal to pull out immediately.
Our people need an explicit and firm assurance from the international community that the integrity of our borders, ground, sea and air, finally will be respected by Israel.
Israel has started deploying thousands more troops on the border, but is also considering a proposal for a 15,000-strong force of Lebanese and UN soldiers.
It looks interesting, and we will examine it closely.
It's hoped the amended resolution could be accepted as soon as Friday. For now, though, those caught up in the conflict can do nothing but pray for the violence to end. Richard Davies, 10 News.